Hello, everybody. Today we're going to learn about possessive adjectives. So we're going to talk about when something belongs to someone. Now this can include people. I know we're not actually talking about ownership, but if my sister is my sister, she belongs to me in that relationship, okay? So when we talk about people and objects in the same context, of course, when I own my car, it's a little bit different than how I own my best friend. I don't actually own her, but she belongs to me. If you understand that context, right? It does not ever indicate to be taking ownership over or power over someone. So, all right, try to, if you can, hopefully that makes sense to you. So, all right, notes and explanation for how to use these. Now you can find these on your charts. Here are your Spanish 1B charts. Make sure you're using second semester charts. And down at the bottom, start in the 70s, 69, 70, and so on. These are where you'll see your possessive adjectives. Okay, there's a couple at the top of the page, but that's where you'll see the rest of them. Okay, so here's how you use them. So a little review, remember el and la both mean the, masculine and feminine. Los and las also mean the, and this is the plural, masculine and feminine. And then un and una mean a. So like instead of saying the cat, we could say a cat. Okay, un masculine, una feminine. Some is just the plural, unos and unas. Okay, and that will come into play here. So in order to determine which one of the possessive adjectives you're going to use, you have to look at what the possession is. So in other words, if the possession in this case is a cat, un gato, then I will say mi gato, the singular, because I only have one cat. But if I have two cats and it's the plural, then I'm going to say mis gatos. And that's all there is to know about it. Just there's a singular and a plural, me and mis. Okay. Now remember, I'm only one person, but if I have two things in my possession, then it's the plural one, and if I have one thing in my possession, it's the singular. Now, for all the other ones, yours, theirs, those are all going to work the same as this. But when you get to say ours, nuestro, nuestras, and if you look at your charts in your notes, you will see down here that all of a sudden there's a bunch of them. So look right here. See, me, singular, mis, plural. There's only one that we use when I'm talking about my stuff. Your stuff is tu or tus, if it's singular or plural. Their stuff, his stuff, her stuff, all of your guys' stuff, all of their stuff, all of those people would either get su if what they have is something singular, and sus if what they have is something plural. Now just try and let this kind of sink in for a minute. I'm going to be going over this again and saying it in different ways. So if it's confusing right now, stick with me and see if it doesn't make sense by the end. Okay? When we're talking about our stuff, notice there's nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, and nuestras. Masculine singular, feminine singular. Masculine plural, feminine plural. You see that? So that's going to come into play here. Now let me just actually go through them one at a time. That was just the preliminary basics. If that's confusing, let's break it down one at a time here for you. Okay, so let's talk about my stuff, all about me. So I'm going to say me if I own one thing, and mis if I own more than one. So if I say mi mochila, that would be my backpack. Mis mochilas, plural, my backpacks, means I have more than one backpack, so I'm using mis. Now let's apply that to our vocabulary. So if we look at all these family members, and that's what this unit is about, if I wanted to say my grandfather, I would say mi abuelo. But if I wanted to say my grandparents, plural, I would say mis abuelos. And if I wanted to say my books, let's go to a different chapter. I know this is working ahead, but let's just say anything over here. If I wanted to say my rug, I would say mi alfombra. If I wanted to say my, let's find something plural. If I wanted to say my, of course, the minute you're looking for it, you can't find anything plural. If I wanted to say my sunglasses, I would say mis anteojos de sol because it's plural. And we can always tell if it's plural by the that's at the beginning. Okay, so me or mis to talk about my stuff. Okay, now if we want to talk all about you, So if you want to say your house or your sister or your book or your dog, we're going to either use tu. Notice no accent mark this time because this means your. When it has an accent mark, it means you. But when you take the accent mark off, it means your. So tu if you own one thing, and then tus if you own more than one thing. So if I say tu casa, that means your house. And if I say tus casas, that means you have more than one house. So that's your houses. Okay? Now, right, I really want to point out tu with an accent mark means you. Tu without an accent mark changes the word completely to your. All right, let's talk about our stuff. So our stuff is going to either be nuestro if it's masculine and singular, nuestra if it's feminine and singular, nuestros masculine and plural, nuestras feminine and plural. So let's look at some examples of that. So if we have one cat, I would say nuestro gato, our cat. If I wanted to put it in a sentence, I could say, El gato es nuestro. The cat is ours. I could say nuestra gata if our cat is a girl, right? El gato is a male cat and gata is a female cat. Or I could say la gata es nuestra, right? The cat is ours. And I only changed that O to an A to match the gender of the noun. Nuestros carros, our cars. Or I could say, los carros son nuestros. The cars are ours. Nuestras hermanas, that's feminine and plural. Las hermanas son nuestras. The sisters are ours. Okay, now last one is it's all about them. So this could be his, her, yours, like usted, theirs, ellos, and ustedes. So all of those subjects get the same possessive adjectives. So this can mean his, her, yours, theirs, or all of yours. I said y'all, so it's hard to put it into words. Okay, this is if any one of these people owns one thing, and this is if any of those people own more than one thing. Now, this is where it tends to get really confusing for students because they think to themselves, oh, él and ella, that's singular, so I should use the singular, but that is incorrect. It does not matter who the subject is. It matters what they own, right? So we're always thinking about what the possession is, not who the subject is. So for example, I could say su gato. This could mean his cat, her cat, their cat, all of your cat, but we know for sure it's a male cat. We don't know whose cat that it actually is. So you wouldn't just throw, oh, su gato into the middle of a sentence if you weren't already talking about someone in particular to know whose cat you're referring to. This is the same exact thing, but now the cat is female, su gata. Again, this can mean his cat, her cat, their cat, or all of your cat, right? So again, context. Now, if we say sus carros, that can mean, again, his cars. So one guy with a bunch of cars, her cars, one woman or one female with a bunch of cars. It could be a bunch of people with a bunch of cars or one person with a bunch of cars. The important point is here that there's a bunch of cars. There's more than one. And that's why it's sus. Same thing here if we say sus hermanas, right? His sisters, her sisters, their sisters, or all of your sisters. It doesn't matter that he is one person. The sisters is the part that's plural, the possession or the connection, that relationship. His sisters, they belong to him. They are connected to him. Okay, and they are plural. That's why it gets the plural sus. Okay, so for all of the ones in this section, the cats, the cars could belong to any one of these people, right? And that's what I said. That would have to be said in the context of a conversation for the listener to know precisely what is meant. And that is possessive adjectives.